Hello and welcome to another episode of MCSC, Mimi Cybersecurity and Stock Corner. Today, I want to go over a question. Will BlackBerry be the next GME or AMC? A good question. Since BlackBerry was one of the so-called meme stock, we want to look at the potential this stock is giving us. Where is this going? And in order to do this, we need to make a comparison with AMC and GME, which give also AMC and GME holders a little bit of an overview. And I hope this is helpful for all of you. And let's get started. So I prepared a little infomercial regarding the three stocks. And I will quickly go over some of the points that I thought was important. What I did here was I divided the infomercial in different categories like services, future transformation, catalyst, sentiment, financial situation, and the stock squeeze potential. At the end, I gave it a rating and also determined for me and myself and I what kind of investment this is for myself, if it's a long-term, mid-term, short-term invest, and making a conclusion. So first one on the list is AMC. I do have AMC in my portfolio. It is a big part of my portfolio and I am excited about the company, but I want to look at it from a very objective point of view. These slides were prepared on March 13 on the weekend, where the stock price was at $11.16. So quickly going over the information that I researched here. And guys, it took me a long time to put this information together. So if this is helpful for you and you like it, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel. That would be really great. I would be super excited about that. So AMC Entertainment is the largest movie exhibition worldwide. They have 1,004 theaters around the globe, mainly in the US and the UK. They operate 11,041 movie screens in those theaters, and they also sell food and beverages at their movie theaters. And lately, they are offering chicken tendies, my friends, which is super exciting, What I like to point out is, when you go to the movie theaters, it's one thing to buy a movie ticket, but another thing is, to buy the popcorn there and the drinks. They're quite expensive. So revenue for them comes also from food and beverages, and the more diversity they have, aka chicken tendies, my apes, the more they will, add to their earnings. As far as future transformation goes, positive aspects are that they have raised $917 million in fresh investment money, and they also raised $304 million from Class A shares. So Class A shares, each of those shares have 3 voting counts, but they're not the same as Class B. I am a retail investor. I owe Class B. I only can vote. I only have 1 vote per share. But these are different shares, and they raise money with that. What I heard in the conference call is that they're trying to push the Chinese stockholder a little bit out the picture, and wanted to make more American based. So Wanda is being a little bit pushed out with their voting counts, and the US will be more emphasized. There are also closing down some of the theaters that were not profitable to cut costs and have better financial balance. And they have now a streaming service. I think it's been going on for a bit, but you have definitely huge competition in that field when it comes to streaming services. You have, Netflix, and you do have Amazon Prime, and Google Movies. But at least, they are moving a little bit more in a future-oriented direction with their streaming services, their mobile apps, and ticket buying on the mobile app capabilities. So it's a little bit of a transformation. Why I give the transformation a one is because I guess you can do only so much transformation, because movie theaters have been around for years, I think over 100 years. And it's the same principle, people go to the movies, they buy a ticket, there is that, you can only have so many seats, you can only, maybe sell so many tickets. Sales from food and beverages are upscalable, but at the end of the day, there's so much future transformation and services adding on you can offer to your customer. Stability comes from, the sentiment for movies, and that the movies are around for hundreds and hundreds. I'm not hundreds and hundreds. I'm sorry, years and years, hundreds of years. I never heard of movies going out of style, or movie theaters are now past thing, whereas sometimes you have technology and things that we thought it was so great, and they just went away. But I don't see movie theaters going away, and I don't see Hollywood letting that happen. As you know, Hollywood is a huge industry. They are, actors, they are movie makers, directors, writers. I mean, the whole movie industry is very big and huge, and a lot of jobs are connected to each other. So, catalyst for AMC are that the movie theaters are opening. Granted, they're only opening at around 60% capacity. It's better than nothing. And the earnings report were better than expected. I mean, we all knew that they're going to come out with some negative numbers, but hey, can you blame them? I mean, we were forced to close down everything, and they were still able, to push through, to raise fresh investment, to reduce their debt, and have a good concept now for reopening. And people are starting to go back to the movies. Everybody is excited, everybody wants to get out the house and want to see a nice upcoming exciting movie. They are that, I mean, when you go onto their website, there's a lot of blockbusters that are coming out. I'm personally can't wait until our movie theaters are opening back up. So I'm kind of tired of watching movies on my couch, and I don't like to watch movies at the house, even though I have like a home theater system. But oh well, right? So, lastly, Amazon acquisition rumors have been also a catalyst for the stock. At this time and point, it's just rumors. That's why I just give them 2 points, because rumors are not facts and they can fade away very easily. About the sentiment, we don't have to talk about this. We all love AMC, and we all hope that the stock will go up. It will go up, and that this company is safe from bankruptcy. And if you look at the finances, you can see that there's no, there's no threat anymore from going bankrupt. You can see these numbers that I published here on Yahoo Finance, and different other website references are also included in the last page. What we can see here is that the revenue was constant from last year ending to up till now. We stayed pretty stable. And if you go back to 2019, we had 5,471 total revenue. So if we go back to pre-COVID capacity, full capacity and fully operation, which means revenue will increase, by around 4 billion, and this will influence also the stock price to go up. And people have been discussing this, but what I think is worth really mentioning here is the current ratio. The current ratio is calculated by taking the assets of the company, overall assets, and dividing them through their debt. So what you can see is usually a number, hopefully above 1, because 1 would be 50-50 equal, equal debt to assets. Excuse me. But when you have very little debt but a lot of asset, the number goes up. So with them getting this fresh investment and paying off their debt, I mean, you can calculate this yourself. I might be wrong, but I calculated this like 5 times and I couldn't believe my eyes. But the current ratio as of now is at 107%, which means that they have a lot of asset. But of course, they are investing in, COVID hygiene measures and other things. So their free cash flow is a little bit low. But overall, I think the nuance here is their finances were not that bad as, people maybe expected. Plus, they have fresh investment money, and we can see a growth potential. Now, analysts have estimated that business will grow by 93%. Please take this with the salt of grain. Anybody can make an estimation, guesstimation. I mean, I could write 50%, call myself, an analyst. You don't know. You don't know who these people are, and I like to see, solid numbers, but fact is that this company's stock will grow long term, midterm, because the company is going back to business. So with that being said, last point is this squeeze. As we know, this squeeze has not been squeezing yet. Difficult word. I'm not a squeeze expert, and I don't really know if the squeeze is going to happen because it's so complicated. And there's so many fake numbers out there, different numbers. I mean, I have these numbers from Fintel. I pay for the damn service $500 a year, and they're confusing. I mean, I'm not a math genius or financial expert, but even I can tell you that these numbers make no sense. So, if anything, we know that there are 216 shares as of now offered to the public, and 19 million of them are supposedly shorted, which makes 19% shares shorted from the overall issued stock. Important thing to know is the volume, which is around 109 million. So if you take that in consideration, I mean, anything about 10% is pretty good regarding a short squeeze potential. But we also know that companies like Fintel are only self-reporting entities, so meaning that the hedge funds self-report to them, and they can fail to deliver, for instance, or false report, and their fines are a joke compared to us, if we would have to pay those fines. So I think there's a lot to this. There's a lot of hidden numbers in ETFs and, confusion. But Fintel.io also states that AMC ranks number 13 from the most shorted stocks listed on their website. So that's a good indication, that this stock is heavily shorted, which then in return, if this is the 13th most shorted, stock, how come the borrowing fee is only 1.96%? Well, I might assume that maybe the hedgies went long on the stock and that they think that there is no problem of, getting the stocks as of last week. But I don't know. I only know that the stock price will go up. I only know that there is a squeeze potential. But to me, and there's a realistic squeeze potential from, gamma squeeze or short squeeze, But to me, I love the company. I like the stock. I'm holding since 2 months. To me, this is personally, and don't take it as an advice, to me, this is a midterm invest. Once the stock is going back to the regular prices pre-COVID, around $20 to $35, that's going to be my conclusion time. I will decide then if I want to hold on because the value of the company is going up by XYZ, catalyst factors, or if we're going to be stabilizing around that time and what will I be doing from there. So to me, it's a midterm, short term. Short term, you cannot call it short term anymore, because I've been holding it for months. But definite squeeze potential, as we know, midterm invest, and done with the comparison. Now, let's go over to GameStop. So, as of Friday closing, we have a stock price from $264.50, increasing the stock's price in the last 2 weeks tremendously. Everybody can pause, the video and read these bullet points. But to me, one of the most important things I want to convey, as far as potential goes, as far as the squeeze goes, as far as comparing BlackBerry to GameStop, is the potential of this company. So, everybody knows this company is a video game, video game providing services around video games, consoles, gaming computers, accessories, and collectibles. But what a lot of people maybe are not aware of, that GameStop is not just a brick and mortar company, but they have a lot of, affiliation and transformed their businesses from a brick and mortar company to a respectable e-commerce player. First of all, the gaming industry is huge, so it's expected that there is potential for the gaming industry and three-digit billion, numbers. I don't know the numbers by heart right now, but I do know, because when I read the numbers, I was a bit shocked that it's pretty much similar to the cybersecurity industry, potential. The potential is very, very similar as far as, the earning and numbers go, three-digit billion. So after GameStop started transforming from a mortar and brick company into an e-commerce player, their online sales also, catalyzed by COVID, increased, for instance, instance, during the holiday by 300%, and their overall yearly increase in e-commerce was 34%. They hold a revenue sharing agreement with Microsoft that when GameStop sells uh, Xboxes, they will earn from those sales. They have like this digital sale agreement for every Xbox they sell. They are getting, their share. Not only, from the sales price, but revenue sharing agreement adds to that. Okay. One thing I am also reading about is the increase in sponsored products at GameStop.com that will bring a new, and higher revenue stream. Being able to provide sponsored products on your website will definitely increase your income, and which also leads to another point that I read, that GameStop is trying to become the one website for or a hub for gaming advertisement. So because GameStop has this huge customer base, okay, memberships, they have so much overview about their customers and their customer behaviors. um, they're very, very valued amongst like the players like Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, because it costs a lot of money to acquire new customers. So everybody is like, oh my gosh, you already have this huge customer base and you have all this information, so it makes sense for them, to partner up with GameStop and also make GameStop a hub for advertisement. So these are the future transformation plans that we know of as of now. Um, as far as catalysts go, is, we don't have to talk about the squeeze potential. Definitely, in my eyes, there's a big gamma squeeze potential or short squeeze, but nothing is guaranteed. I don't know, but I feel like there is a huge potential. They had positive quarter 4 results. They made 1.35 billion from their e-commerce sales, exceeding the company's 1.0 billion gross objectives. Guys, this company is not an old company that is going down a drain and will be bankrupt. There is no way in the world that with all the future transformation plans that are out there and that we're seeing being implemented, and you can see from their financial situations, you go to their financial statement and you can see how much money they are reinvesting into the company, reinvesting into the transformation. Okay. And I think we will soon also hear from Ryan Cohen's transformation plans, which I really hope this will be happening at the investors call by 23rd or 26th. I have it in the next slide. There will be, their earnings call pretty soon, and I really hope that Mr. Cohen will showcase some of the transformation plans besides, appointing a new CTO, and what will they do in the future for the stock and what the plans are. I think they are owning this to the investors, and that's their responsibilities. I think they have been very quiet. I know that they probably have been quiet because they want to publish this at their earnings calls, and I really, really hope we will get that information. Last catalyst, maybe a small one, but something I personally quite like, is the sentiment for the stock, hedges versus retail, changing the investment game and revolutionizing Wall Street. We learned from all these weeks looking at GameStop. I mean, people have been learning about the stock market and the workings of the stock market, and we discovered some pretty irregularities and some not so fair, activities slash illegal activities maybe, and being called into the Senate and things like that. So I sometimes hear people say, if I lose money on GME, I don't care. I just want, the game to be changed. So that's another uh, point that is pouring gas onto the fuel. Um, Last points are the financial situation. You can see here, compared to AMC, GME has way bigger revenues than AMC, sevenfold, I want to say. And comparing today, end of December, and end of 2019, they have not lost a lot of money during the pandemics. Granted, yes, they did, but I believe because of the e-commerce transformation, they did not. I mean, we're like 1 billion up compared to December last year already. And, you know, they have free cash flow. They have money to play. Granted, last year they probably went into the minus because of the COVID situation and reinvestments. But look at them. Even in 2019, they had free cash flow, and their current ratio, assets versus debt, is pretty good. I mean, 6% in 19, 4.9, almost 5%, and 20, and right now, we're around hovering 2.37%. Anything about one is good. I don't want to say that two is great, but I think they're doing okay. So considering all that, I think their financial statement will come out pretty good. I'm pretty positive on that. I give them 2 points because they're not super great. They're not off the chain. I'm not like, oh my God, it's a party up in here. But they're okay. They're solid, and a lot of future potentials. Um, I really don't want to talk anything specific about the squeeze. Besides, I personally do believe that there is a big potential for a gamma or short squeeze. And quickly going over these numbers, again, some of the stuff is not making much sense, but okay. Short share percentage is at 21%, which is okay, not as high as the numbers we have seen in the past. There are 64 issued shares, and 5 million shorted shares. So they say, but like I said, I personally do not believe in all these numbers. I think there is probably some correction to be made. And honestly, I think they will be a gamma squeeze from the option chain way before we see a short squeeze. But all in all, I gave it 17 points out of 18. I'm pretty bullish. See the little bull there. And to me, I will see. I mean, I have GME in my portfolio. I'm pretty excited about them, about their future plans, and I know there is a lot of potential in the gaming industry. And if I hear that Cohen has super, good future oriented revenue gaining plans, I will rethink if this is gonna be turning from a midterm invest into a long-term invest. And I will go and see as the information comes out. And that's for GameStop. And last one is BlackBerry. I can only say to you guys, comparing BlackBerry with the two other stocks, off the bat, I don't think we will see a short squeeze. I don't think BlackBerry will be another AMC or GME. And I'm taking this ahead of all the other information because I want to thank you for staying with me this long. And I don't want to make you wait any longer, but I would like to explain myself. BlackBerry got pulled into the meme stock buying frenzy, and I think they were pumped and dumped. Positive thing, I don't think after now, after all this, hedgies will be shorting, BlackBerry very heavily. You can see it on the percentage shares shorted. Currently is at 15%. I mean, it's still over 10%, but this might be, some numbers from previous times. I don't see why hedgies would want to short this company because people are waking up and realizing that we're not talking about BlackBerry back in the days, but the transformed BlackBerry, who has become a leading cybersecurity service and product provider, and is becoming one of the major IoT solution and IoT security solution providers. So that would be pretty dumb because hedges only make money if a company that they heavily short go bankrupt and they do not have to pay taxes on their earnings. Okay, so this company is not going bankrupt, nowhere near bankrupt, and I think BlackBerry has a very bright future and a huge potential if you look at it as a long-term invest and not just only, a squeeze play. So their services are ranking around cybersecurity products, cybersecurity services such as penetration test services, forensic analysis, incident responses. They have amazing application and operating systems. Their operating systems, real-time operating systems for IoT, are being used in SpaceX, in a lot of e-vehicles, and their cybersecurity services are implemented in government institutions like the U.S. Air Force. Um, I, I don't know, like there's so many government agencies I could, big names I can list right now. But that would be too much for this video. I think I will do another video on that. Um, their IoT offerings and car makers, smart cities, for private houses is very huge. And there is an estimate that around 75 billion IoT related, not IoT related, 75 billion, how do you say this? The real time OS operating IoT systems will be implemented all around the world. But basically, they're going to be everywhere. So they're starting to be everywhere, and they will have huge growth potential. So with that, they were able to do all these new partnerships with Microsoft, alliances, Microsoft, and in the back, the big ones are Amazon, AWS. I correct myself. I don't know, how big the partnership is with Microsoft, but they are doing a cloud partnership with them regarding their Azure platform, and they have managed service agreements with a lot of different other partners. But I had a partnership slide on my other video. Go check it out, please. And there are so many big names on there. It's ridiculous. So the potential for this company's growth is very big. We have low sentiment, I want to say, for the stock. Okay, people are like, it died out. It was kind of like a pump and dump, right? But long-term investors who are really looking into the matter are, waking up to the sleeping giant, I want to say. And looking at the stock and the squeeze potential, I will say, from my point of view, we have 216 shares issued and only 3 million of them are shorted. Okay, around 15%, which makes no sense. And this, I got these numbers again from Fintel.io. How can this be 15%? But okay, no. So, and the borrowing fee is like 0.25%, is like nothing. So no, I don't think we will see a squeeze anytime soon. But what I can say is we will see the stock price rising, and it has been rising in the last couple of days. And I will do another video going over the technical analysis of how the stock went up in the last couple of days, where we at, and what we can maybe see in the future. So overall, I want to go back and say, is BlackBerry going to be the next AMC or GME? And again, no. I think these three companies have three different potentials. I think AMC and GME have squeeze potentials. I think GME could be a very, good long player. And I want to put BlackBerry into that realm as well. I think BlackBerry is a long-term play with a lot of potential in growth. So, important dates. We already had our earnings call with AMC, so there's nothing that they're going to be coming up with in the future, near future at least. And as far as GME goes, we have the fiscal year 2020 earning results presented after market on March 23rd. And we can dial in as an investor under this number with this code. As far as BlackBerry goes, we have the earnings 3 days later on the 26th. We will be presenting at the DRG Spring Conference on the 29th of March. There will be another earning call in end of June, and an interim earnings release in September. So the durations of these, investments are really my personal opinion based on my risk appetite, my buying price, my investment and earning goals, and should not be taken from anybody as a recommendation. This is just for education and fun. I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I, in the position of give any financial advice. But what I am good at is researching and putting the information out there for you. And I hope that you really, really, really liked it, and you can give me a like on this. Conclusion, I think we're done with the comparison. I have the resources slide in the end. You can email me, and you can find my email below. Again, I hope you liked the information. Have a wonderful day. Until next DD.